What's up guys, and in this video I'm going to be going over 5 mistakes I made when I started selling on Amazon FBA that lost me potentially $20,000 in sales. So if you don't know me already, my name is Carter Maxwell. I am a 17-year-old entrepreneur and I go by the nickname of the High School Hustler. And if you're trying to create an online business and make money while you sleep, then this is the channel for you, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So mistake number 1 was actually repricing my products. I know that kind of sounds dumb, but when I first started Amazon FBA, I just had the mindset of just trying to get up as many products as I could, find as many potential products that I could sell on Amazon. But once they were at Amazon and they were listing as active, I would never go and change the price based on the competition. And so what I did not know is other people were actually coming onto the listing and pricing their product lower than what mine had been priced at. Therefore, all these people that were coming in were actually pricing their book, their CD, whatever item I was selling, they were pricing it lower than me and getting sales while I was just sitting there. And so that potentially lost me a ton of money and potential sales that I could have made if I could have just gone back through there every month or every couple months and repriced my item based on what the competition is priced around. So mistake number 2 was actually judging sales rank. And so for example, about a year ago, right before Black Friday, I'd actually bought 40 to 50 video games for about $10 from my local Target. I was trying to retarget these to sell back on Amazon. And so selling books and CDs and electronics in the past, I was familiar with those certain categories' sales ranks. But I never really sold that many video games, so the sales rank to me was very unfamiliar. And for those of you that don't know what sales rank is, it's Amazon's way of tracking and kind of giving to the public how well and how often that product sells. So obviously, the lower sales rank, the more often that product is selling. So with video games, I did not know what was a good sales rank, what was a bad sales rank, and what was kind of the minimum sales rank that I was looking for. And so I kind of made a blind buy and went and bought 40 or 50 of these. Obviously, some of them had a really good rank, sold within the same day, within the same hour. And then there were some that potentially took months to sell, took a very long time, a lot of money to try to get rid of them, and just a lot of time wasted trying to get rid of these, trying to make my money back. So make sure that when you start on Amazon, you familiarize yourself with the different sales ranks and different categories on Amazon when selling. So mistake number 3 was actually limiting my sourcing. And everything that I'd ever really sold and bought for Amazon FBA at the time was locally. So it was either from a garage sale, a thrift store, or just around my house. And at that time, I didn't really care to search anywhere else or really know where else you can buy stuff to resell. And it wasn't until later on I found out about eBay, Alibaba, AliExpress, just other wholesale websites that you can actually buy product on to then resell back on Amazon. And this was huge for me because once I could buy it offline, I could have it directly shipped to my house to where I didn't have to go and have my parents drive me around to go garage sailing, or once I was old enough to go drive somewhere to a book sale and stuff like that, I could just have it all ordered from my house. And that was huge for me. And the reason that it's a third mistake for me is because I limited my sourcing, I limited the opportunity that I had and the possible sales that I could have reached earlier on in my career if I would have just tried other places to source like Alibaba and AliExpress. So that is the third mistake that I had made. So mistake number 4 was actually buying too much inventory. So when I recommend starting out when selling on Amazon, buy a good amount of inventory, okay? So for instance, if you buy 50 units of a product and you sell out like fairly quickly, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. A good thing knowing like, hey, your product sells, just go back and place a reorder. The bad thing being, oh, you're sold out. It's going to take time to restock and eventually you're going to have to build that momentum back up. But obviously you can just go back and make another reorder. A problem that I did myself and I see other sellers make is they buy too much inventory, and so they're stuck with all this extra stock, extra money that they'd spend this inventory and just sitting there not selling, which makes things really complicated because you only really have a few options. You can try to dump it at a break-even price, which is sometimes depending on the item, it's either too competitive or you might not be able to even sell them at break-even, might have to lose some money or liquidate them. So the 4th mistake that I made is just buying too much inventory. For instance, I had ordered like 200 or 300 units of this product when I first started private labeling on Amazon, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I'm just like, oh, I want to make sure I have enough stock so I don't sell out. Well, little did I know, the first month I'd only sold like 50 or 100 units, and so I still had like 100 or 200 more units just sitting there not selling, and I had a tough time moving them, and I ended up losing a lot of money on that order. So just make sure you don't order too much, but make sure you order enough to where you don't run out of stock. So the fifth and final mistake I made when I first started selling on Amazon was not correctly private labeling. And so if you don't know what private labeling is, it's basically the purchasing of a generic product from China, where you will then brand that generic product with your company or your branded logo to then resell it back on Amazon, okay? And so I did not correctly private label because I actually never did brand the product. I was a newbie, I was starting out, so I just ordered this product and it actually sold. I was selling them like hotcakes, but I didn't have them branded correctly. And before I knew it, these things called hijackers were coming onto my listing, also known as other sellers that are trying to sell your product on your listing. And so the correct way to have private labeled my item would to have been of branded it, had my company printed on it, my sticker on the packaging, something that differentiates myself from the competition. But I did not, and I had nothing that differentiated me, and so all these people were coming onto my listing and stealing my sales, lowering the price, lowering the margins, and I had a tough time selling my items. And if I would have just done the process correctly, private labeled my products correctly, I would have eliminated all those sellers, and that's mainly what lost me that potentially $20,000 in sales. This fifth mistake that I had made was the biggest mistake because I let all these other people go on there and steal my sales from my listing, the reviews I had from my listing, and all these people that didn't deserve it, but they had the same product as me, and through my mistake of not private labeling correctly, they came onto my listing and stole lots of my sales. So guys, the good thing is I made these mistakes early in my Amazon FBA selling career to where I don't make them in the future to where they can possibly cost me even more money than they would have, okay? So obviously when you make mistakes, you learn from them, and as an entrepreneur and an Amazon seller, and just selling on any other platform as well, you're gonna make mistakes. You just have to learn from them and obviously don't make them again. And then you're just gonna keep working your way up the ladder, and if you just stay consistent with your business and you avoid these mistakes and you learn from mistakes that you have made in the past, you will eventually reach a tremendously successful business. So that's it for this video on the 5 mistakes I made when I started selling on Amazon FBA that lost me potentially $20,000 in sales. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to comment below with any questions and or video ideas you would like to see in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I'm always giving away different tips and tricks on how to make money online. And on that note, I will see you guys next video.